So there is a simple rule I love following, and one of the rule is if you are in a noisy environment, then you can mute. But if you are not, then you can actually unmute. Okay? If you are not in a noisy environment. Why? Because we believe that today's session is expected to be quite how should I put it, collaborative, the sense where we talk together. Okay, so I believe you can also see my chart. So once again, I am the strategist FX. Same thing likewise on Instagram. So a quick one, we're going to be doing another, not that or today's analysis, and I would love us to give me an instrument. So I want everyone to be carried alongside. So I believe you can see my chart. I believe you can see my chart.
Yes, I can see your chart. It's very clear.
Okay. So please,
Yeah, we can
yeah.
try VIX 25.
Okay, VIX 25. Okay, then. So please, guys, let's remember, if except you are in a noisy environment, then you can mute. But if you're not, then you can unmute. So let's this analysis be quite collaborative. So first thing first, I'm on V25, but the first thing I will need to understand is what's the overall time frame, right? That's the first thing first. I would want to understand. It is very, very important. Now, we've come to the understanding that what's that on 24 hours, as I said, I believe you can see my screen. Where's the last break of
Yes,
structure
sir.
on the 24 hours based on this structure I'm seeing? So I don't know if there's any other information at the left-hand side. Okay, no problem. V10S and 100S. Good. So V25, last break of structure happens to be what? To the downside on the 24 hours. If this is the only information we are seeing, as I said, if this
Yes.
is the only information we're having, then we're having this to be what? A break of structure to the downside. Now, the next question will be, has the market given us a or an intent based on what I used to say? Has the market giving us an intent, notifying us that we are extremely bearish or what or bullish? Remember, last break of structure happens to be what? To the downside. Now, you notice carefully that this are the external liquidity. That is this high and this low. Please, if you are here on this call, I need you to keep your ears attentively. A break of a structure to the downside, notifying that this is the last break of what? Break of structure. The last what? The last break of structure. Now, knowing that this is the last break of structure, how is the market taking out the next external liquidity? Where is the next low for the market to notify that we are extremely bearish at this external liquidity? Now, I
Yes.
want to make our today's analysis very, very easy. So each time we want to begin, we check from the last break of structure and check if the market is actually in the range. So if you watch carefully, you will realize that the last break of structure happens to be to the downside, and you will notice that the market is being stopped within a range. Within what? Within a range. And since we've gotten a last break of structure, this high came back into what? Into point of interest. Into what? Into point of interest and what are mitigated. Now, this point of interest, which I also call a base candle. What? A base candle. A base candle. Where the market mitigated. But the market failed to what? Has failed to take out what? Our last low. That is the external liquidity to identify that we are now extremely what? We are now extremely bearish. So now the question
Bearish.
is the market ready to what? Is the market ready to give us a bearish momentum from this POI down? To me, it is quite obvious that we would want to seek for this high. Now, why are we going to seek for this high? Please take note of this. Why are we seeking for this? We are seeking for this because this high created this low that failed to what? To break structure. please be aware. This low has not been taken. So therefore, when the market gave us a break of a structure, came back to mitigate from the base candle, our point of interest, this high created this low, right? We came back to grab what our liquidity, which happens to be what our inducement, area of inducement to what to continue. But for us to have validity, that is validation or intent, or what are this low be taken, the market was supposed to do this. The market was supposed to what? Immediately we have this, and immediately we came back to what to take this. We're expected to rate this high, sorry, this low. But the market has failed to do so. And if the market had rated this, then we would have expected the market to take out this to continue. But we failed, or we have failed to take out the external liquidity that gives us an intent to taking what? To taking the external liquidity. Now, good. So here's my projection. The market gave us a break of a structure. This high created this low that failed to what? To break structure. So therefore, we will seek for this high at the what? At the 2331.1801 level. Good morning. I hope we are together.
Yes, sir. Right on.
So the market has failed to what? To rate this low, which happens to be the external liquidity as an intent to continue to the downside. So therefore, we are stuck within a range. Remember, each time the market fails to break structure, realize or note that the market is still stuck within a range. So all you have to do is by knowing the previous areas of break of structure and what the market is doing inside that range. And the next high or lows the market wants to read. So therefore, since the market has failed to read this is the high that created this low. So therefore, this high is weak. Since we have failed to take out the main external liquidity, it is therefore weak. So which areas are risky for the market to use? Do not look at selling at this POI because the market will read it. Take note of this. Do not look forward to us selling from here because the market will read it. It's very clear. So what will I be looking for? I'll be looking for a buy continuation on the lower time frame to take this and to take this. That's what I'll be looking for. Except the market shows otherwise by mitigating here to continue upward. But as I said, the market will be seeking out for what? For this high because it is weak already. When we have what we call compression, excessive compression in the market will not be able to what? To now continue that same trend because of the compression. Because normally the market was just supposed to what? Immediately we swept this inducement. As the market gave us this is the exact area for external, the way the market is supposed to read. But the market failed to do so. Market failed to do so. So I believe we are enjoying today's session. And I would love us to pay attentively. So we seek for this and we will seek for this because this high is weak. We created this low that failed to take what? External liquidity. So that is that for outlook. So in trades like this, would I see any setup on the lower time frame? Let's confirm on 4-hour time frame. Okay, so on the 4-hour time frame, I am not specifically seeing how do you call it? I'm not seeing a model or law yet on this 4-hour time frame. So until I see that model on the lower time frame, good, before I can now say, okay, let's look for a way to buy. But my main point of concern is what is the market reading this point of interest, which is this, reading this. So I believe we are together. So once we have this, we get that exact model we used to play with around there, the market giving us a range and initiation back into for a mitigation for continuation. That is, for those who practically have been with me, will understand what I actually mean. We call it the RIMC. Now,
yeah, I haven't been able to attend your class, but this is my first time. So I don't know if you have videos for your previous classes so I can catch up.
Okay, I think you actually have to check that on the YouTube channel. So we have this.
Okay, yeah. Please type your YouTube channel on the chat so I can check it.
So we have this range mitigation, we have range, initiation, mitigation for continuation. So then, depending on what we see around here, for we to define it as a range. Now that is actually that, but let's continue. As I said, I'm seeking for this high to be rated. So likewise, stay off from V25. Okay, so move to the next one. Some persons actually say 10S. So as I said, I'm not seeing a model, a suite model I can actually use on this V25 until I see so before it can be called. Like every other analysis has been called on the channel. So V10, V10S. Okay. So we come back again to the 20. Very sweet, interesting, impressive, impressive. Okay, I see. Good. So now 24 hours, in as much I'm seeing something sweet, but does not actually simply mean we dive in immediately. Now, looking at V10S, I don't know if we actually have your chart displaying everything, but this is what I can actually see, right? So based on what I am seeing,
Yeah, the class is being recorded, my friend.
okay, I think it's recorded. So now, based on what we are seeing, we have what our last break of what break of structure. Am I right? So we have this as our break of structure. Now, to those who knows this model, which we've always been talking on, both on YouTube channel and as well the live analysis. Now, each time we have this range formed inside before the break of structure. That is before this high is being taken, the external liquidity is taken. You realize that the market have what? An internal. Notice this look. Even if I was supposed to buy, I'm not going to be looking forward to buy from this POI. I can't look forward to buy from this POI, but below the POI, because this happens to be the exact inducement area for the market to read. There are several types of inducement in terms of structure. I repeat, in terms of structure. We have a model such as this. We have when the market gives us something like this, where the market comes back and raid and continue, right? Realizing that the market gave us a break of structure and what the low that formed after came back to read. What we have is certain structure, we call it, we have it in different types. We have a structure which is as this. The market continue. Where do we seek for? We seek for this and we continue. So please take note of that. Now I will rally back into, well, back in time based on what we are here for. So I believe you've actually seen that structure. So as I said, I will always expect the market to come back to raise this low. Why? Because it is the exact inducement based on the type or based on this type. Now the market came back successfully and raided that low. Please take note of it. The market came back what? And raided that low. Now, what does the market need? The market now needs an exact break of structure. To those who have actually been on the mentorship and the course or have the course, you realize that there are some certain things I'm discussing that are practically on that course that is being sold even out by synthetic dollars. Now, and you will do well by getting the course if you've not actually gotten it, and make sure you do negligence to go through it because they are deep inside and there's still other things we are yet to prepare in terms of analysis of strategy, because at times you will have to sit down to be able to draft out things that are beyond books you have read. So now take note. As I said, the market came back to successfully sweep a type we use in this community. We've gotten an exact break of structure, exact BOS. For those who knows our exact BOS, giving us a proper BOS. What do we need? Looking at this model or this structure, I am seeking for the market to continue in that manner, in this motion, to take out this high. Take note of that. A break of structure has been gotten. Since the break of structure has been gotten, what do we need? We need a continuation. Now, if you check on the lower time frame, there is this candle. I'm not too good at those retail. How do we call it? How do you call those things? Retail chart. Is it candle patterns?
Chart patterns and candle patterns.
No. Now, this is why majority of the times, what we seek for is we seek for the structures, the types, and alongside the nearness or liquidity the market ought to take. We don't work by those candles because majority of these candles will always fail. So you need to understand what the market is doing on the long term in terms of liquidity, the transaction that is going on for us to rally with the market. Now, as I said, we've swept liquidity based on structure or structural type, break of structure. We have rallied back into point of interest. Now, the question you will ask yourself, why did the market not rally back in time into these areas? It's because if you use your eyes carefully, you will notice that the market has done proper mitigation. Please note this because I see a whole lot of things we I will not be still be discussing on this course because there's no enough time. That is why we always have provision for those courses so that once you get them, you review it and go through so that when we have analysis like this, you understand what we're talking about. Now, the market gave us a mitigation, give us proper mitigation. We have series of mitigations around here. And even if I as a trader comes on board to take analysis like this or take charts like this, and I realize that I'm having series of mitigations, I will not bother myself to look for POS around there, but what for a continuation till the market takes out the next high or low. This is a higher time. This is our higher time frame, 24 hours. Looking at these candle weeks, we will know that we've had mitigations already on those POIs on the lower time frame, on the what? On the lower time frame. So the market came back, swept certain inducement on the lower time frame that is not visible on this 24 hours. That is from this candle. From this candle. It's an inducement after a break of structure. This low, this candle opened where we had a low around here from this candle's week. So the market rallied, swept us out, swept this week as liquidity to continue to give us a break of structure above this week. Then, as you can see, rallied, came back, sweep, continued. Then, what are we having on the higher time frame? We're having a proper mitigation. A proper what? Mitigation. So now, as I said, we need a break above this high. So I've given us a pattern or I've given us an insight on what I've given us an insight as what 10x is about this a second.
Man, trading is mainly all about structure, man. If you understand liquidity and structure, you'll be okay.
Yes, certainly. So I'm here. So now, based on structure, because you see, I used to say this for us to see liquidity. Most times we traders love argument, and I am not into the habit of coming to sit down to argue. No, no, no. There are no prop firms yet for synthetic. There are no prop firms yet for synthetic. Now, one thing I do not love. Now, remember what I said on the higher time frame, which is on 24 hours. Remember, I talked about mitigations, right? As you can see, you see how the market mitigated all through all the POIs. I do not need to stress myself going to the lower time frame to really check if the market has given us mitigation. So if I see those structures, those structural patterns, I already know the market has given us series of mitigations on the lower time frame. So therefore, I will now be looking out for continuation pattern. Now, in a case like this, look at this. Now, we have gotten a break of structure. The market mitigate. Now, in as much as we have this, so the next entrance or area I'll be looking at for continuation will be around here. Around here to continue. I say, remember what the market is looking for is aiming for this high. So you should be having that soon on this high to be taken the next minute, probably a few minutes. And when we have a break of structure, you can now look for a continuation to continue. I repeat, to continue. And where are we going to continue? Please note this. Once you get an entry for continuation, aim for this. That is one. Aim for that. That is one. Two, aim for this high. That is one, two, and possibly this, which is our last area. One and two. So when you find your entry continuation, you aim for this and you aim for this. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
So as I said, based on this, we are following structure. Market has given us a break of structure. has given us this liquidity that formed before this high was taken.
Can I ask a question, sir?
Okay.
At this place the market is now, what is the chances that it will now come back and take out that low that is based on to buy and then go to the lower zone before now
Okay.
doing the proper buy?
Okay. Now, good. Very nice question. Now, why would the market choose to go lower if it wants to go lower? Is this simple? If there are signs of weakness, please take note of that. If there are what?
Mm-hmm.
If there are signs of weakness, I repeat, if there are signs of weakness. Now, how do we note signs of weakness? When the market comes back here and starts giving us certain structures like this. Are we together? Note,
Mm-hmm.
if the market now fails to take this high, what do we aim for? The low that created it, or this low that created it. So as we come back, what will be my next place? Will now be simple around it to continue. Are we together?
Mm.
Do you understand? You see, structure is not something hard for us to understand. The problem is just that most of us just love complexity. We just love things to be too garnished. So it is simple. When we now find weakness, by the time you realize that the market is finding it difficult, I repeat, finding it difficult to rate the external, what are you expected to do? Simple. You will wait. Once the market shows its pattern of weakness and start rallying back without taking this external, don't expect the market to use here. It will rate this low that created that high and rate it off to come back to this POI, point of interest. All this area mitigated is a major here. The market will now use that to continue. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
So now, in common sense, we since we now have this place, this height graded. We now wait patiently as a patient dog. We now wait successfully well as okay that the market breaks this high. By the time the market breaks it completely, that is what? That is an intent. We are now ready. The market comes back inside and continue. It's as simple as that. You don't need stress. You don't need to stress yourself. You come back to lower time frame, 4 hour time frame. We come over to 1 hour. Someone asked me of entry confirmation. Please, that is why the courses are always there. The reasons why these courses are being created is not because we want to get money from your hands. It's so that you can also understand what our perspective or how we look at that. Because on live analysis, we will not come back to be able to come and start explaining or teaching and the rest. I'm only doing this because I want us to practically understand where I'm coming from. If not, I'll just dive into drawing out lines and the rest. Are we together? So
Yes,
please,
sir.
for
Yes.
for those practically looking for this thing, that's why the courses are there. You get the course. When you get the course, you go through it. Each time we have analysis like this, it will make sense to you. You understand it from a simpler perspective. I can even get a continuation trade based on my model if I see it. And then most times I will take up those trades and people will feel like, what did I use? How did I see it? So that is why those things are there. Those charts or by those courses will not help us know, okay, there are things we need to add more again on the courses. Anyways, so
Sorry,
let's
sorry,
continue.
sorry to ask. Is this SMC or ICT?
It is advanced SMC. We call it advanced SMC.
Oh, okay.
I am
Okay.
an ICT trader, a 4 years old ICT trader, alongside
Wow.
an application of advanced. We find it, I think this is my 7th year. And so we're using both the combination of both ICT and likewise SMC. So that's why it's called
Mm.
advanced. So we did a whole little bit,
Wow.
whole lot of structuring and how do we call it? Re-strategizing and making sure that everything is well
No
settled.
wonder you're breaking structure like this.
So now we have this. Where is the low that formed? We have this. It is not visible on this time frame. Take note, this is not visible on this time frame. So we have this low. As you can see, what happened? This low created this high that failed to break structure. Am I right? This low
Yes, sir.
failed to created this high that failed to break structure. What did the market do? We came back and swept it up completely. Up you can see, we came back
Yeah.
and swept it completely off. Now, what are we about? A break, a complete break. So you can see the proper mitigations from these POIs. It's very clear. Very, very clear. Now, where is our exact break or structure from this? If I want to check the lower time frame, there will be a high from this candle. This place I'm marking, that high. There will be a high. A high that is not visible on this time frame, 1 hour time frame. When the market now read it, you now consider, make this break or structure. The low that formed after. What did the market do? We came back, created that B, we continued. We came back into, based on this structure we talked about, which is this. When the market comes back, seek for it and continue. Right? The same pattern. The market did the same thing, created this low where the market will have to come back to read. Are we together? When the market come back now to what? To raid. Came back successfully. See this low failed to raid it. What did we do? We came back and seeked for it again because it needed. So as we now break structure, this low now becomes what we call a major low, where we don't expect the market to read. So we now continue. So for us, for this place to continue to hold for a buy case scenario, depending on what the market wants to deliver, see the market again. See what we did here. I hope you can see. So if I want to pick POI1 and POI2, it's quite easy for me, which is I will now have to check the POI that swept, the candle that swept this liquidity, which happens to be, so I'll raise this because from here, this candle is what swept this. So from here, and lastly, I can only use this POI, which is at this area. When the market successfully breaks this external, as we now break, this is when the market comes back here. As we now raided this high, this particular high, where will be the successful POI we use? This to continue. It's as simple as that. The maths is not, or the formulas around these strategies or around these patterns are not hard, are very easy for us to understand. So I've been able to break things down for us for returns. So likewise, I've given us a trade or a setup as a clean setup, something nice and something juicy. Let's use that word. Long. So first thing first. So for this, as you can see, remember I've given us the theory to as how these POIs are expected to be used. I've given us the theory. So since we've taken this, use this for continuation. As we rate this, if we see ourselves impulse back to this low, no, we are using coming back for this POI because this is a major POI for us to use for V10S. But as I said, the market has swept liquidity and I've given us the areas. I've given us the areas for you to aim for once the market starts that rally. Above this and above this. So it's quite not, it is very, very easy. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
So I would have loved to apply other patterns. We still have Wyckoff schematic, but that will bring confusion. So let me set that one aside. Okay, so I think that is that for 10S. We've talked about 25. There is no exact model. I've not seen a model for V25 to continue. So, but I've given a perspective to us what V25 ought to do. So we move over to the next one. Someone said 100S.
Yeah, sorry, good morning. How can you get the course?
Okay, what you have to do is reach out to synthetic orders, and that will be done. So we come back to 24. Remember, now if you notice carefully, all the analysis that is being done, you must always return back to what time frame? The 24 hours.
24 hours.
But why? Because this is where we now see the true structure of the market. What the market wants to do on a long term. So it is what the market wants to do on a long term. You will now know, okay, am I trading a pullback or the exact pattern of the market?
That's it.
It's just like the V50 that was dropped on the community. The market missed the POI, right? But we followed the same direction. It is very important because There are most times you might be at the wrong side of the market. It is better to have a missed entry than being on the wrong side of the market.
Yes, so
And I used to say this. So now we've had this, a proper break of structure. So what has V100 been doing? You know that the market has been giving us what? Continuous break of structure to the downside, continuous break of structure to the downside, right? The market, all these things here formed around here. It's called range structure. So all these are range structure. So therefore, it will not even take time. It will take time for the market to come back here into this place. But if we only that will only happen when the market gives us an intent, a proper intent. And once we have that intent, successfully, well, that's when the market will come back to raise this and dig deep back inside here. But it's going to take time a bit. For sure, it will take time. Depending on volatility or the volatility of the market, it will take time. So now 24 hours, remember, we are still extremely bearish. So now, where is the last break of structure based on this? This is the last break of structure. Are we together? This is the last break of structure. Last break of structure. Now, since we now had this as the last break of structure, why? A lower, a low, a lower low, a lower high. You don't need now. So you ask a question, how many confidence do you need? Now, to me, I use my eyes. It's as funny as that. There are times I would want to
you've
apply.
already trained your eyes for years.
So I would not, my confidence comes from my eyes. That is why we have those things in place. I used to tell some persons when a course is being released, it's not because we, as I said from the beginning, it's not because we say come and pay this, come and pay that. It is only for your own so good. And reasons why price tags are being placed on it is so that you understand the value of it. And majority of these things is where we have to sit down to do personal research, come back, implement them, back test, and the rest. So confluences, I can practically use my eyes to know that this trade, and people that know me, synthetic goddess know me for that. I can practically let you know that that this trade must buy. I won't tell you to buy, it must buy. And the way I will enter it, I'm good at stacking. So I will stack it. So a break of structure. So your confluences, you must learn your first confluence is your eyes. If you can't use your eye as a confluence first, then trust me, it's a problem. Then after your eyes, the next thing is a pattern. Because for you to, your patterns must be visible to your eyes. If your patterns are not visible to your eyes, then there's a problem. These are the mistakes you keep making. Your patterns are not visible to your eyes, but your feeling, your intuition is letting you know that this is your pattern. But meanwhile, it is not visible to you. So if it's not visible to you, why are you trading it? It's a problem. Whether you're using RSI, whether you're using whatever, if your eyes are not seeing your pattern visibly, trust me, it's a problem. So I hope I've given you a direct answer. Stephen. Okay, so a break of structure, we have this low, right? We have this low. Now, the market has now failed. Watch what's happening here. We have 1 minute already. I think we all just have to stop here for today. And then let me not keep. I would not love a situation where we have this done, half done. So I've given us V10S and I've given us how do we call it? V25. Okay. I would have loved to dive into how do we call it? Dive into the V100S and then V150 and the rest. But based on time schedule, so I think we'll actually have to end this for today. Okay, you can reach out to me on the strategist FX, but my Telegram username is Godfathers. That is S. Godfathers Imperium or Imperial. That is Imperial. Imperial. So that is that. Then Instagram, the strategist FX. Do well to make sure that you follow up synthetic goddess on every single content. Trust me, we spend nights and days So making sure that we give out the best to everybody. So thank you very much, everyone, and see us on to the next session. I wish you good luck and good trading.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.